Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the fight that just wrapped up between Jaron Boots Ennis and Custio Clayton. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Look, Boots Ennis is a man that a lot of people consider the future of the welterweight division. They look at this dude and they think that is what the future of 147 pounds is, and I get it. You look at him and it's very easy to realize the type of talent that he's got. You look at him, you break down the film on him, you watch what he does. It's all there. He's got the speed, he's got the power, he's got the combination punching. Goes to the body, great jab. Look at what he did with that jab in that fight with Lipinets. He's stepping up his competition, right? Lipinets, Diorme. Now he steps in there against Clayton. Not that Clayton was necessarily better than those guys, but all of these guys are a step up from people that he has fought in the past. And what's he do? Continues to go out there and shine. Continues to go out there and put in great work. Continues to go out there and impress us with the caliber of things that he does. You know, it's not just that he goes out there and beats guys. It's the way in which he does it. He passes the eye test. Right? And by the eye test, I mean like when you sit there and look at him, you put your eyeballs on the man and you watch what he does. It's impressive. It's you know, what did he do? He went out there today and he immediately establishes the jab, immediately establishes the distance, puts that power out there and lets it be known, I'm the ring general, I'm the one who's in charge, I'm the one who's calling the shots out there. Went in there against a guy who's got a pretty good jab himself in Clayton, and he really wasn't able to get anything going. Really wasn't able to do all that much. It was all about what Boots wanted to do. Then he goes out there in the second round, ends up landing that right hand, and like, that's it, man, game over. Flashes the power, lights out. Just that easy, just that quick. So there's a lot of people, and we look. I don't want to make it seem as though this was supposed to be a competitive fight. I don't want to make it seem as though people thought that there was a chance that Clayton was going to come in there and win. They didn't, right? Everybody knew what was going to happen. Boots came in there. He was like a 16, 17 to 1 favorite, right? Vegas knew what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. I didn't even make a video about it because of that. It was too obvious. I was going to make a video, and I guess the only thing that I was going to be able to say is as far as analysis and preview was, there's nothing really to analyze in the sense that we know that this man's going to go out there and get the job done. It's all about how he's going to look when he does it. Is it going to be a battle? Is he going to be on point? Is he going to be looking ahead to other things? Is he just going to work him with the jab? Is he going to come out there and blitz him from the first round and take his head off? That was the only question. How is he going to look? 24 years old, looks incredibly good, looks like the future. Few things he needs to tighten up. We saw him, not tonight. We didn't see any good work get done by Clayton. But defensively, we know that Ennis has a little bit left he needs to do, right? We saw him eat some right hands against Lipinets. We saw him get caught a little bit. You're not going to be able to do that against the best in the world. Now, there's a lot of people calling for him to fight Errol Spence. There's a lot of people saying they want to see him fight Terrence Crawford. You know, that's all well and good, but he's not there yet. And I'm not even talking about from a skill standpoint. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the skills to compete with those men. He absolutely does. People understand how good that he is. I'm not saying that he would win the fight or anything like that. Like I said, he hasn't competed anywhere near the level of those guys. He doesn't have the resume of those guys. They should not be fighting him, right? There's only one fight that I want to see Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford in, and that is fighting each other. That's it. I've been waiting for that fight for so long, just like everybody else. I do not want to see it derailed with all of a sudden fighting some young up and coming, no matter how good he is. That's not the fight. That's not the fight that we want to see. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they need to stay focused. They need to get in the ring with each other, man. But honestly, I do think it's time for Ennis to step up that level of competition. I do think it's time for him to get in there with somebody that is an absolute A-list fighter, not a former champion, not somebody who's a little past their prime, not somebody who used to compete at 140 pounds, somebody who's shown themselves in 147 pounds to be amongst the best in the world. That's who I want to see him step in there with. So if it was up to me, I had the magic wand, I was able to wave it and get him in there with who I wanted, I would have it either be Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia, to be perfectly honest with you. If Sean Porter was still fighting, I'd have it be him. It's funny, I know Sean Porter was going back and forth. Oh, Boots is top of the line. Oh, he's not ready. He can do this, that, and people were calling him out on it, saying what he, the things that he said while he was still fighting versus what he was saying while he was retired. That's all well and good, but that's That's who I want to see him in there with. I put Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford as the best at 147 pounds, right? It's yet to be determined who's 1 and who's 1A, but I put those guys as the top of the food chain. Right underneath them is where I put guys like Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. That's who I want to see Boots in there against next. Now, it's going to be real tough to get a fight like that. Real tough, right? Because what's the motivation for Keith Thurman taking that fight? None. He's in a way, he's got everything to risk and nothing to gain. If he beats him, all the hardcore boxing fans know who Jaron Ennis is. We all know who Boots is. We all know how impressive of a victory that is. But that's not a pay-per-view fight. That's not a fight that's going to sell, 40,000 tickets and make all this money and do these big names. Keith Thurman, in my opinion, my guess is he's probably waiting back, hoping to catch the winner, maybe the loser of Spence Crawford. That's what he's hoping for. He goes out there and fights Ennis and loses. Man, that's out the window. That's gone. He no longer gets that fight. Danny Garcia, now that's a fight that's a little bit more realistic. That's a fight that could happen a little bit more believable. Danny Garcia's been on the shelf for a little bit. When he comes back, does he have the negotiating power? Does he have the leverage to be able to get the kind of fight he wants? Who else really wants to step in there with him right now? Right? Who else is going to want to take that fight? Stepping in there with a guy like Boots. The thing is, Danny Garcia would be the A side in a lot of ways. Danny Garcia has more buzz, more hype. He's been around longer. He's got the resume, the bigger fan base, all of those things. So it would be interesting to see how that one develop. Now, I don't know what he's doing right now. Look, I follow him on Instagram. All you see him, he's got the thing going on with the clothes and the real estate. I think they got a TV show or something going on with the rest of his family, his dad and his sisters and stuff like that. So who knows? Who knows what he's got in the works? Who knows what his plans are? What he's going to come if and when he's going to come back? Who he's going to fight? Is it going to be a tune-up fight? Is it going to be against a guy who's top of the food chain? It'll be interesting to see. But once again, we saw exactly what we expected to see from Boots. Comes out there, dominates with the jab, lands the right hand. Game over. What's next for him? Where does he go from here? Who do you guys want to see him in the ring with? Is he ready for the big time? Are the big time guys going to take him? Is he ready to main event it yet? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.